once upon a time when somebody was entering into exercises and all, it was a very encourageable fact that somebody is doing exercise, and we did not much bother about other things about health. Okay, somebody is aware that he should do exercise, good enough. But over the number of years, as lifestyle changed, as sedentariness started coming more and more into lifestyles, we did notice that even exercisers encounter certain issues which otherwise could have been prevented if only certain tests were done beforehand itself. So, ever since, there is a huge emphasis on medical tests, especially for people who are involving into exercises. Okay. So, what are the tests that you need to be aware about, that you should be taking it and understanding why you're taking it, and what is the frequency of those tests is what we're going to see today. Okay. So, number one, when you are entering as a beginner into exercises, or you are already regular into exercise, there are certain basic parameters which needs to be ensured that it is always normal. The number one is your blood pressure level. Okay, blood pressure has got variability through the day and through life also. Okay, nobody's blood pressure is going to be steady from morning to evening. Okay, so when you go to the doctor or when you test it by yourself with a home apparatus, and you're going to see that it's approximately 120 by 80. That does not mean that's the same BP from morning to evening. It varies like a sinusoidal curve. It slightly goes up, slightly comes down. When you're at rest, it drops down a little bit. When you're agitated or when you're tensed, it increases a little bit. So blood pressure is bound to go up and down. It is not something which is a constant factor. But understanding our BP helps us to understand where is the baseline of our blood pressure, because blood pressure is a very important factor to ensure that blood, which is the life carrier inside our body, moves smoothly through and in all the body parts and the organs. Okay, so blood pressure needs to be established that it is normal, and there should not be too much of a variability also under normal circumstances. Okay, second is your blood sugar level. Okay, your blood sugar level. This also needs to be monitored because sugar is energy. Okay, and sugar is a carryable energy through your blood. Okay, it's a normal factor, by the way, for the blood to carry glucose. But when it is going to be beyond certain limits, or if it's going to be below certain limits, either way, there's going to be trouble. We see much of a trouble with high glucose levels in blood, but the problem which we get to see with low glucose level in blood is people losing energy to even normally stand or function. Okay, hypoglycemia is what we call that particular condition to be. But that's the minor part. The major part is high blood pressure, high blood sugar levels, and sugar also, like any other parameters, does not stay constant inside our body. See, our body is built so very beautifully that any parameters always will be at a certain level based on the time of the day, the activity that you're going through, okay, or the staticness you are into. Based on all these factors, all these parameters change. Okay, so you had a good meal. Right after that, definitely your blood sugar levels will be elevated. That does not mean somebody is a diabetic. So the body senses when there is an event which happened inside, the body senses what happened, what is happening through the event. Okay, followed by this event, there is high level of sugar inside the body. Sugar needs, body needs sugar. So how much sugar? The body decides, okay, this is what I require. It takes that much sugar. Then it calculates how much is excess, and it will understand what is the general functioning of the body. Accordingly, it will save some sugar also in the form of fat, because fat is the only storage format inside our body. Any energy can be stored in the human body only in the form of fat. So it converts a said amount of sugars in the form of fat inside our body. Then when the body decides, okay, this all is excess, it will eliminate it. So there is a natural way of our body to handle sugar levels. Now, if you are fasting, you are not eating food at all, that does not mean that you will become hypoglycemic. Initially, the body will go for a slight hypoglycemia. Our brain monitors us. Okay, there seems to be a period where this person is not taking food. Then it starts depleting these fat storages, yeah, which is there in the body. It converts them into the necessary sugars, and the body runs efficiently even under fasting. Okay, so that's why training the body under fasting is also a kind of training which the body requires. Okay, so second parameter which you need to establish is your sugar levels inside your blood. The third factor is the blood cholesterol levels, okay, fat. Now, do not be under the impression that fat enters inside the body only through external sources. Oh, I'm eating a lot of oil, so there's a lot of cholesterol running inside my body. Okay, I'm gonna eat good fat sources, good oils. I'm gonna use olive oil. I'm gonna use that oil, whatever may be the oil. Understand, cholesterol is not, first of all, coming from the oils which we intake. Cholesterol is manufactured inside our body, okay, by our liver. Our liver manufactures cholesterol. So cholesterol is not something which is bad. Cholesterol is not our enemy, by the way. It is a natural blood carryable substance available in the body. There are HDL cholesterols and there are LDL cholesterols, there are triglycerides, there are variable sources of variable formats of cholesterol. This is the fat which circulates in the blood. Okay, it's got its own functions to protect the body, to protect the organs, to safeguard them, and to also eliminate extra fat from the body. Okay, so it is the good cholesterol, which is the HDL otherwise, which roams around the blood, and the higher the HDL cholesterol, it removes the unwanted fat from the blood vessels. Okay, over and above is our food habits and the food intake which carries cholesterol. Okay, so food is not the primary source of cholesterol. Food also has got cholesterol. When these cholesterols goes beyond certain levels, or when the good cholesterol reduces and it can no longer remove the bad cholesterol from the body, then these cholesterol starts getting formed as plaques or occlusions or obstructions inside our blood vessels, which can potentially reduce the blood supply to that particular organs, primarily the heart and the brain, and it can create some kind of a damage also in the long run. So the third test which you need to understand is your cholesterol. First is your blood pressure, second is your blood sugar levels, third is your cholesterol levels. Okay, all these are not said values throughout life. They change, they increase in some season, they decrease in some season. So an increase does not warrant you to immediately jump into medication. A decrease also does not mean that you are deficient in it immediately. Things needs to be observed, monitored, and a good physician should handhold you through all this process. The fourth parameter, and one of the very, very important parameter, is your thyroid levels. Okay, today in our city life, with the growing stress, okay, and the amount of emotional, what do you say, unhealthy states of people, thyroid levels gets affected very badly. Thyroid glands are right in your neck, by the way, and their job is to manufacture a hormone called thyroxine. The thyroxine hormone is the one which is responsible for your metabolism. So good metabolism comes from good thyroxine levels in your blood. Okay, so when you are regularly exercising, there is a demand placed on the thyroid glands to manufacture good amount of thyroxine. Okay, and when you do not exercise regularly, or if you're not active, or you're not adequately active enough, thyroxine, there is no demand on these thyroid glands, and hence they slowly manufacture less thyroxine hormone. And when there is less thyroxine hormone, your metabolism is low in the body. When metabolism is low in the body, the capacity to burn calories reduces in the body. Okay, so these four variables which I told you, your BP, sugar, cholesterol, thyroid, the first four, and the four major things which you need to understand about your body, approximately once in 6 months, or if you are consistently found to be good at it, once in a year is also good. Okay, if you notice any parameters are compromised, you have a BP issue, you have an existing cholesterol issue going on in the body, you have a state of hypothyroid running in your body, then you need to stay in close touch with your physician, and you need to monitor it closely, as close as once in 3 months or once in 6 months, as per how your physician tells you. Okay, so these are the four major tests at the first place. Okay, why do I call it major is, if we do not manage these four things properly, or if we do not monitor these four things properly, it will slowly, eventually, with time and age, qualify you to get into bigger troubles like cardiac issues or brain stroke issues. Okay, when these four are not present in the body, or you have taken good care. When I say good care, it is only two things, which is good exercise and good eating habits. Okay, diet 50% and exercise 50%. I'm going to keep expounding more on the exercise because that's my area of expertise. But do not underestimate, a good diet also contributes to it. I'm not an expert in diet, I'm not a nutritionist. So, for information specific to that, you need to talk to a nutritionist. I can give you some general ideas, but not a very specific one. Okay, so I'm not the source to look forward for when it comes to nutrition. Okay, so these four, I call them first qualifiers. If you manage to keep them always under control naturally through good eating and good exercising habits, you will never qualify for the second big problems like cardiac diseases or brain stroke related diseases with time or with age. But if you have these issues, one of these four issues you have, or you have one of these, more than one of these four issues, if you have, you need to work hard to eliminate it. Those days are gone where we believed or we understood that BP, sugar, cholesterol, thyroid medications means lifelong you should take medication. Those days are gone long time back. Unfortunately, those belief system physicians are not gone. They are still existent in our system. So when you are with a physician, if you have any one of this issue, please ask the physician's belief system. That ask him that I'm going to regularly exercise, I'm going to follow a good diet, I'm going to change my lifestyle. Can I be out of these medications? And if the physician says no, it's dangerous, you have to be at least on a maintenance dosage for a longer time, my first suggestion is change the physician. Okay, there are many physicians today widespread across the world who guides their patients slowly with healthy lifestyle, healthy eating habits, healthy exercising habits, and they help them come out of the problem rather than keeping them dependent with a pill. So check your physician's belief system also before you go with him on a long term. Okay. The fifth thing specific to women's health is um, a good hormonal health, female hormonal health. Okay, estrogen, progesterone levels, they ought to be at normal. So you need to check the health of your uterus also. Again, with our growing sedentary lifestyle, growing emotional burnout in life, it is very, very likely to see women having PCOD, PCOS issues, polycystic ovarian diseases, polycystic ovarian syndromes. We get to see nowadays very, 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 very common. Once upon a time, we used to get to see these kind of things only around 40 plus, around menopause time. Today, that's not the story. Even in my clinic, I get to see young girls who have just crossed puberty around the age of 13, 14, 15, also suffering with these kind of issues. The primary trigger is emotional imbalance, poor emotional health, but it also has to do with activeness in the body, and lifestyle. That's why these five things are called as lifestyle disorder. They are not called as diseases. It's not something you are treating it. If you are treating a problem, the problem has to get eliminated. Of course, if I get malaria, I get dengue, or I got COVID, okay, you treat it. It's a disease, so you treat it. And once you are out of that disease, you don't keep taking those medicines because you want to prevent one more COVID in future. You don't continue those medicines because you want to prevent one more malaria coming in future. No. After that, we resume back to normal lifestyle. But you look into these problems, BP, sugar, cholesterol, thyroid, PCOD, PCOS, most of these pills are kept consistent in life. That's why I do not call them as medicines. They are called as drugs. Drugs is something which keeps you dependent. Medicine is something which helps you cure and you can let go of them. Okay. So you need to be careful to deal with these things and you need to overcome it. The good news is you can definitely overcome these 5 problems if you put the right effort, change of lifestyle, introduction of exercise into lifestyle, and when you have healthy eating habits also. Okay, that's very, very, very important. Okay, so these are the first basic tests which you need to understand. Sixth is your cardiac health. Earlier, we would never suggest cardiac tests for younger individuals. Today, that's not the story. Anybody who wants to step into fitness, what irrespective of whatever age they are, generally around 20 itself, we will want to check their cardiac status. So an ECG or an echocardiogram will do to establish basic facts about the physiological functioning of the heart, okay, which is an echocardiogram, and the electrical functioning of the heart, which is called the electrocardiogram, ECG, which we call it. Basically, that is good enough to establish some pointers for your cardiac health. However, if you're crossing the age of 40 or you're 45 or you're above, I would personally suggest that a CT angiogram will also do additional benefit because there are certain things which an ECG sometimes and an echocardiogram can sometimes miss out, but a CT angiogram cannot miss it out. But strongly recommended for folks who are crossing the age of 40, not before that. If these things are established and they are all found to be good, number one, be happy, pat on your shoulder, but continue the good work, good eating habits, good exercising habits. Because consistency, as I told you a few days back in one of my messages, audio messages, that the spelling of exercise is not EXERCISE. The benefits of good eating habits is not just eating good food once in a while. It is consistency. You need to do them regularly. Another example or an allegory I could give that for Indians is small savings. We need not teach an Indian about small saving. We've all got it in our blood that we need to save something. And when do we start saving? When we are bankrupt? No. We start saving as early as we start earning. Okay? Because something goes wrong somewhere, the small savings by then compounds big enough and it can take care of some major things which can happen in life. Good health and fitness also is like that. We don't start it because we got a trouble in life, but unfortunately, many people start there. Still not bad, but I'm saying don't wait for it. You can start that as early as possible also, and you can reap the benefits of it in case you come into crisis. Good exercising people, good diet following people, when they encounter crisis like cancer, cardiac diseases, or anything which unfortunately happens in life, the response of an exercising person towards a disease is way different to a non-exercising person towards a disease. Okay, in the last season, folks who were there with me in last season, you will know that I encountered something went wrong with my kidneys. Till today, we don't know what went wrong, by the way. But what the doctors identified was something happened to the kidneys, which we don't know what really happened. But what we can progressively understand is your body is able to fight it back and you are slowly coming to normal standards. So the known factor is the body, my body is fighting it back and it is slowly coming to recovery status. But the unknown factor is we don't know what happened at the first place. It is a suspicion. There could have been a viral fever. There could have been some kind of infection inside the. There could have been so many postulates are there. We don't know exactly what happened because I was asymptomatic totally. I went to the doctor because I found my ankles are swelling. In that process, they discovered something had gone wrong with the kidneys. But the good news is body is recovering. So the recovery process towards any diseases for an exercising person versus a non-exercising person are a 180-degree difference. Okay, it's like difference between south and north. They are not comparable at all. Okay, so you have all the good reasons to exercise and to maintain a good diet and to have a healthy lifestyle. Okay, 6 majors you got it: BP, sugar, cholesterol, thyroid, PCOD, PCOS, and cardiac status. These are the tests you need to establish some baseline values where you are. Okay, Now, once you find that there is something not so okay, it needs a closer follow-up, as close as once a month, once in 3 months, or once in 6 months, however your physician directs you to. And if there are perfect balances between these things, maybe once a year or once in 2 years also you can repeat these things. Unfortunately, with the culture of insurance in our country, okay, the attitude towards medical test is very different here. Many people, 90% of the people who undergo medical tests are not people who take care of themselves. They are not exercising people. They are not people who follow good lifestyle. They are not even people who have got healthy habits in life. They are the ones who go for medical tests very, very regularly. 95%. Only 5% of the population who go for medical tests are exercising folks, by the way. Okay. It's a very sad thing. It's not a very good trend, because they go to medical test with the intention to test their life. Okay, after doing all these things, let's see how our health looks like. Okay, everything is good. Fine. I can continue the same nonsense what I'm doing. That is what the moral of the story is. No, these kind of tests are for people like you and me who take care of yourself, and we need to see whether anything is going wrong beyond what we could take care of. Okay, taking a medical test without doing anything in life, it's like going to check your exam results without even writing the exams. Okay, it makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so if you have friends or family members who are doing that, first of all, suggest them to get into some exercise formats. Okay, that is more important than just testing your luck once in a while, seeing whether everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine or not. Okay, these are the major parameters. Few minor parameters are also there. When I say minor parameter, that does not mean unimportant factors. They are equally important factors. Only thing is they are not life threatening to the extent. Okay, but these are also very, very important factors. Number one is your iron profile, the level of ions which is available in your body, the amount of iron which is getting processed inside the body. You can eat good iron rich food, sometimes it may not get processed inside the body also. So despite having good iron food, I do get to see exercising folks having iron deficiency. So iron profile testing is one of the minor parameters. Second is vitamin profiles, primarily vitamin D3 and vitamin B12. Vitamin D3 comes from sunlight. Today, most of us are aliens to sunlight. Aliens to the extent that, some of us even get allergic when we get exposed to the sunlight. How sad, by the way. Sun is nature. Okay, it's natural. Around the sun, look at the way the nature is. Around the sun, all the planets move around. What does that mean? To me, it means that life exists and can thrive only when we are friendly with the sun. We are not created to be alienated from the sun. Everything in this universe runs around the sun. How can we be away from the sun? Okay, lifestyles has changed, office natures has changed. We are always preserved like an ice apple inside the fridge. Okay, AC car, AC vehicles, by the way, even if you don't have AC, you are still protected from the sun because there's a roof above your head all the time. We are not outside the sun. So, exercising folks, please spend time in the sun. Okay, sun is not bad for you. We need natural D3 comes from the sun only. Okay, so spend time. Don't just go walking in the sunlight, because when we go walking, we are clothed properly. Okay, at least with half-hand t-shirts and pants we wear or shorts we wear. But that's not enough, because when you walk or you're doing an activity in the sunlight, you're actually sweating. And when you sweat, the sweat becomes an insulator for sunlight. So when I say sunlight, you have to be exposed in the sunlight, maybe in your mostly in your private balcony or something like that. You need to expose skin as much as possible. So as thin clothes as sleeveless or very, very short shorts, okay, then only maximal skin gets exposed to the sunlight. That is only called as absorbing sunlight. Walking in the sunlight, doing exercise in the sunlight may not mount up to sunlight exposure at all. Your skin needs to be exposed to the sunlight. B12 comes from good green sources in vegetarian food, and it comes from good meat sources in non-vegetarian food. It is an old story which in the medical world we created it out of our ignorance, saying that vegetarians will be always deficient with D3 and B12. That is not true at all. I have seen hardcore non-vegetarians also suffer D3, B12 deficiencies. D3 is a sunlight vitamin. It is very much responsible for good immunity in your body and good recovery from musculoskeletal soreness, which can come naturally by virtue of your work, or it can come also because of your workout. So to recover properly from all these things, you need proper D3 inside your body. B12 is a nerve specific vitamin. As part of tiredness or fatigue which we experience in the body, there is a neurological fatigue also which happens, and B12 is very, very, very important for that. These two has got nothing to do with whether you're a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. Okay, so irrespective of that, you need to have good D3, B12 in your body. Borderline normalcy also is treated as abnormalcy, and it is a treatable condition today. You need to meet physician, you need to take proper supplements as per physician's advice. Do not buy any of these things over the counter. Okay, and when you are taking these supplements side by side, try to replenish them naturally. Example, I am highly deficient in D3. Okay, when I'm highly deficient, I have to take supplements, but don't just eat the supplements and go about normal life. While you're taking supplements, spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the sunlight, also exposing your body to the sunlight to replenish side by side naturally, so that eventually you can come out of these tablets. Otherwise, you are dependent on them lifelong. And all these supplements which come over the counter today are not organic supplements. They are all synthetic supplements. They are inorganically prepared so that they can last in the shelf for longer durations. Okay, so not that don't take them. Take them only when there is severe deficiency. And when you are deficient, replenish them side by side along with the tablets in the natural format. Okay, what are the minor things which I told you? Iron profile, vitamin D3, vitamin B12. Fourth, another important parameter is your mineral profile. Sodium, potassium, chloride, all these salts and minerals. When you exercise, you are not just throwing water outside your body. Your sweat which comes out, which you can taste it slightly salty, it comes with all these essential minerals squeezed out of your body. So when they are squeezed out of your body, you need to ensure that you are replenishing them also. Minerals are not necessarily electrolytes which we drink as a post-workout drink. All these are naturally available in various fruits and vegetables. Okay, so these are the 4 minor parameters which you need to be careful to understand. Iron profile, vitamin D3, vitamin B12, and mineral profile. Okay, keep this in mind. These are the tests which you need to establish that they are sufficient inside the body and they are normal inside the body, because the reduction of these things can potentially make your good exercise also harmful to your body. So please ensure that these are all taken care of. Go have a record of them, maintain a good record of them, and ensure that they're always fine. Okay?